morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Senior Superintendent Apostle Adeolu Adeshina. Behind me is the tomb of a legend, a great servant of God, a sage of Christ, a mentor par excellence, and a philanthropist without quantification. With my crew, we're going to share the life and times of this wonderful man called Olufemi Abayomi Allen, Jpil.
Hi, good day, sir.
Good day.
How are you doing today?
Thank you. Can you introduce yourself?
Okay, my name is Mirade Akinladenu, and I am a member at the Sacred CNS Church, Ebenezer Model Parish. Yeah.
Mirade, what do you know about Pa Allen?
I really don't know much about him because he died way before I was born, but the few things I've heard about him is that he was a lover of the gospel. He took the work of God really, he took it passionately, and he was a father to all, a philanthropist and a very good mentor and leader. So yes, that's all I know about him.
Did you hear he bought biscuits and ice cream for kids?
Oh yes, I heard a lot, and I wish that I was born at that time so I could have, experienced the ice cream and biscuit and sweet thing, but, yeah.
So many people like that enjoy these biscuits and ice creams.
Yeah.
Let's find them out in the church.
Yeah,
like Thomas Campbell, the famous English poet.
Yes.
He said that to live in the hearts of those we love is not to die.
I am most senior apostle Yomi Adebote, Apashe Emiwan. I will be interviewing people and asking them questions about the founder of this church, late Superintendent Apostle Femi Abayomi Allen. Hello, sir. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's nice meeting you. Can you tell us your name?
My name is Saidi Temitokpe Jr.
How long have you been worshiping with this church?
Since its inception.
Were you born here?
Well, yes and no. I think before the church started, what I know, because I was a baby then, the church was worshiping somewhere, before they came here and it started. Yeah, so I can say I'm a founding member.
That must mean that you actually grew up knowing the late founder of this church.
He's a father, he's actually my uncle, yeah, so I know a lot about him.
Oh, that is very interesting. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, kí ni ipò yín nínú ìjọ yìí?
Ipò mi ni gẹ́gẹ́ bí wòlíì àgbà nínú ìjọ yìí.
Ẹ ṣé, ǹjẹ́ ẹ mọ àwọn bàbá wa olùdásílẹ̀ olóògbé tí mo dárúkọ àti pé tí ẹ bá mọ̀ wọ́n, kí ni ẹ lè sọ nípa wọn?
Mo mọ̀ wọ́n gẹ́gẹ́ bí ènìyàn Ọlọ́run nínú ìjọ yìí. Jákèjádò Unification Sacred Cherubim and Seraphim. Bàbá yìí jẹ́ ẹnìkan tó jẹ́ wípé yes, ipò wọn ó hàn, ipò wọn ó dúró, ìwà wọn ó dúró. Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ wà pẹ̀lú wọn nínú ìjọba mímọ́ Cherubim àti Seraphim jákèjádò orílẹ̀-èdè àgbáyé nígbà tí wọ́n wà láyé.
Papa was the person who named me Johnson Motumola Oluwawemimo, and I used to be the first granddaughter. He did the naming ceremony. I'm the first person he did the naming ceremony in this church, and I used to know Papa then. When he comes from his house, I used to go and meet him, and he gives me money to buy biscuits, and he named me Iyaijo.
Well, I would say Baba was even the one who told our head then, Major, fondly call him Major, that's General Fashiku. He told him that I want this boy to be in the Army of Salvation, and he actually brought me into the fold, into the band, yeah. So I joined the band through him, and one thing I would never forget is always giving us ice cream whenever we close service.
You have an uncle, and they give we have different things they give every Sunday. Even then we always enjoy ice cream every Sunday. There's this ice cream sellers that do come after service. He buys fan ice cream, the one with the stick for all kids in the church. So yeah.
Fantastic. Your uncle must definitely be a good man, and you must love ice cream too.
Definitely. Every child does.
Ó tó bí ọdún mélòó tí ẹ ti ń jọ́sìn nínú ìjọ yìí?
Ó ti tó bí 30 àti 4.
Pẹ̀lú ohun tí ẹ sọ yìí, ìyẹn túmọ̀ sí pé ẹ pẹ́ nínú ìjọ yìí ẹ sì mọ bàbá olùdásílẹ̀ ìjọ yìí dáadáa.
Ó mọ bàbá dáadáa o, bàbá dáadáa ni bàbá.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá tẹ̀ sọ pé ẹ mọ̀ wọ́n àwa ti gbọ́ nípa ìtàn wípé ìgbéyàwó yín pàápàá òun ni ìgbéyàwó àkọ́kọ́ tí wọ́n á kọ́ ṣe nínú ìjọ yìí. Bó bá rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ǹjẹ́ ẹ lè tanná sí bí ìgbéyàwó yìí ṣe lọ àti pé ipa wo pàápàá ni bàbá tí wọ́n jẹ́ olùdásílẹ̀ ìjọ yìí kó nígbà náà.
Bàbá kó ipa tó pọ̀ o nítorí pé nígbà tí mo sọ fún bàbá inú bàbá dùn gan gẹ́gẹ́ bí bàbá ṣe jẹ́ èèyàn tó jẹ́ pé tán bá ti rí ọmọ ìjọ tó bá fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan inú wọn máa dùn wọ́n máa gbé bí ìgbà tó jẹ́ pé àwọn ló fẹ́ ṣe nǹkan. Nígbà tí mo sọ fún bàbá pé mo fẹ́ ṣe ìgbéyàwó bàbá kọ́kọ́ sọ fún mi pé wípé ìgbéyàwó àkọ́kọ́ wípé nǹkan tó bá ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní pé kí n wá níjọ́ Wednesday kájọ sọ̀rọ̀ wípé àjọ máa plan ẹ̀ ni. So nígbà tí mo dẹ̀ wá níjọ́ Wednesday bàbá sọ fún mi wípé ìgbéyàwó tá a máa ṣe yẹn o wípé a máa lo customize aṣọ wípé àwọn máa lọ order fún láti ìlú òyìnbó. Mo dẹ̀ sọ fún bàbá wípé tí ẹ bá ní ká lọ order aṣọ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ni ò ní lè rówó láti rà wípé ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa wọ aṣọ àdúrà. Bàbá dẹ̀ gbà sí mi lẹ́nu. Nígbà tí a dẹ̀ ti ń bá ètò lọ bàbá gbé ìgbéyàwó yẹn gẹ́gẹ́ bíi pé ọmọ wọn ló ṣe nítorí pé ìgbà tí a fẹ́ ṣe ìgbéyàwó yẹn mọ́tò tí wọ́n fi gbé mi bàbá gbé mọ́tò wọn sílẹ̀ mọ́tò tó tóbi jù nínú mọ́tò wọn tí bàbá máa ń lò ni bàbá gbé sílẹ̀ fún mi èyí tí wọ́n pè ní Mercedes-Benz 300 òun ni mọ́tò tó tóbi jù ní Nàìjíríà nígbà yẹn tí president ń lò.
Superintendent Apostle Ebenezer Olufemi Abayomi Allen, Jpil, was born in Badagry on the 2nd of January 1935. This was days before another great man, Elvis Aaron Presley, was born in the United States of America on the 8th of January 1935. It is a wonder that two legends were born 6 days apart. The two of them touched lives positively. Elvis through rock and roll music and philanthropy, while Pa Allen was through religion and
rí màmá àti wọn pẹ̀lú màmá mi náà bí lé màmá wọn gangan ìyá kan náà bàbá kan náà. So nígbà tí bá dáàdì tèmi kú ní 1966 mo padà ní ilé ọ̀dọ̀ bàbá màmá mi. So ibẹ̀ ni mo ti mọ̀ wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ọ̀dàbọ̀dà la máa ń pè wọ́n.
My early childhood, my father, it's quite vague because I didn't really grow up with them. I think from the age of 4, I started living with my aunt, my mother's older sister. So I didn't grow up in that way with my father, you know. But I was his firstborn. And when I went back to live with them, I personally, and I think all my other siblings, had a very great relationship with my father. In the real sense, my father was my friend. I would tell my father anything first before anybody. You could tell my father anything or discuss anything under the sun. He was the real, you know that real saying that they're saying now, we listen, we don't judge. That was my father. I was very, very comfortable with him. For instance, when I started my period, it was my father I first told. You know, I could tell my father anything and you know, he would attend to it. My father always had a smile, you know, everywhere lit up. I can't even remember my father raising his hand to beat any of us. The first time my father ever beat anybody, and that was Cowdy, I'll never forget. And that's because he did not feed the dog. My father, thank God we had a mother that was a disciplinarian. If not, Atima, you're Dilara. Because my father really spoiled us rotten, you know. My father could not hit anybody.
He came back to Nigeria after a few years and served in many places until he got to Chelarams, where he developed his career working at the shipping department. He spent many years in this department, and with enough experience gathered, he resigned to set up his own clearing and forwarding company called AFEM Agencies Limited. This company became a huge success, and Baba later ventured into other businesses, such as the People's Bank at Alimosho, where he was an executive director.
Senior Reverend Apostolic Mother Foluke Kolade Oseni. I'm the Yalakoso General of the CNS Church, The Lord is Good, Ogba. My relationship with Baba Len was very, very cordial, and it was a sort of daughter-father relationship, because he was there for me in all ramifications. He was not only a spiritual father, he was a mentor, he was a pillar, he was a backup. Even maritally, he was there for me to steer the ship of my marriage as at that time. Even there was a time I was jobless, and you know what joblessness can cause so many negative things. He called me one day in the church that, what's wrong with you? You are not looking your usual self. I said, Baba, mo ń wáṣẹ́. Mo ti ń sùn ju oorun tí mò ń sùn lé ó ti sú mi. He said I should not worry. The next thing he did was to make sure I was employed as a staff at the then Alimosho Community Bank, where he was a director. And I worked there diligently. For 2 consecutive years, I was the best staff of the year, all due to Baba Allen's mentoring. He was a good leader. He was always there. Even financially, when you are down, you can be sure that when you come to church on Sunday and Baba was in church, you definitely smile home. He was that generous.
The urge to contribute to Christendom since childhood was aroused when he became a member of the Cherubim and Seraphim Church. He worshipped at the Holy Saviour's Church in Lasamaja as deputy leader or deputy pastor in charge before leaving to plant his own church.
Wọ́n ṣe ń dáwọ́ yẹn sí kéèyàn kan fẹ́ láti wá wọ́n máa dúró gbóyè lọ gbé bẹ̀ gbàgbé bá fi màá ní mọ́kà. Kí ló fẹ́ sọ? Wàá máa bẹ̀rù ní jáde lọ́wọ́ sọ pé kó má yẹ kó. Bóyá bóyá ìyá sí ma bóyá lè tó fẹ́ ti bóyá ìyá wọn ti gbówó àná ọ̀rọ̀ síbẹ̀. Onímọ̀ fi dáàbì fẹ́ tọwọ́ bọ̀ fẹ́ kó tiẹ̀ àkókò tó fẹ́ lè sùn. Kula ko su bayan ba ko sami ki o ba ko su bayan ba ide ko da ko bi o de o lo fa ìpàdé ìbáwa.
Kí ó máa fẹ́ mi, mo sọ pé aṣọ funfun ni mò ń wọ̀. Tó bá máa fẹ́ mi, mi lè ṣèjọ mi tọ́ra gùdà ni. So bó bá máa fẹ́ mi, inú sẹ́ráfù náà bí mi sí. Bó bá máa fẹ́ mi, o gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe sẹ́ráfù oníkòbúrú ló di pé ó di sẹ́ráfù. Láṣẹ jìjọ ń ṣe bóyá jẹ́ pé ó ṣàrí wọ́n sọ fíṣọ̀n fún pé ó máa rí lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé kó yáa fi dá ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì sílẹ̀. Ló bá ìgbà tó rílẹ̀ ló bá ó kọ́kọ́ rí kan. Ìtorí yẹn ó jẹ́ ti Uncle Sunday. Wọ́n bá ṣe prayers náà ní rárá kì í ṣe bẹ̀ ló bá ṣá ọrí ti bí ṣá ló bá di pé ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìjọ funfun ló ń wọ aṣọ funfun ló fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ sẹ́ráfù.
You have my mother to thank for that, or my mother's family, because like I said, he wanted to go Catholic, and he was in the seminary. And I remember when I was baptized in Badagry as an Anglican. You understand? So it was my mother that brought him into the KNS fold. My mother's family, if you read the the history, they are the founding members of H.O. Davis. They are the founding members of Kerewu. The whole of my mother's family, Oluga, they're all KNS. So my mother introduced him. So that's what you call true love. He must have been very in love with my mother to even follow her, into her own faith.
Wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ṣe àjọ̀dún ọdún méjì ìkẹta àjọṣe ni bàbá géèyàn kan tó yẹ pé tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ jáde wọ́n máa mú ọkùnrin méjì obìnrin méjì ọkùnrin tó lè máa ń sábà mú èmi gẹ́ kan nínú wọn ẹni kejì ní Ìdòwú wòlíì Ìdòwú àti àwọn obìnrin méjì mi kàn mọ orúkọ wọn gbà yẹn ètò tẹ̀wá tó dùn mọ́ mi nínú jù ìjọ tí mo ti ń bà bọ̀ ìjọ tó máa lọ sí àjọ̀dún bàbá ọmọlé èmi náà wọ́n mú pẹ̀lú wọ́n tún mú Ìdòwú wọ́n tún mú obìnrin méjì gbàdá wa dọ̀hún tá a ṣe àjọ̀dún tán tí wọ́n máa entertain wa bàbá láti sọ pé àwa mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin yẹn àjọ gòkè ọ́fíìsì ẹ̀ lọ ni tí wọ́n lọ́ọ́ fi entertain wa níjọ́ yẹn lọ́wọ́ wọ́n wá wúra mi pé èmi ni mo tó bá olówó rìn báyìí àtìgbà ọkàn mi wá jókòó sínú ìjọ lẹ́gẹ̀dẹ̀.
Superintendent Apostle Femi Allen was a pioneer member of the CNS Youth League. This organization came into being by a group of youth then in the Cherubim and Seraphim churches worldwide. What led to the establishment or the creation of the Youth League? Then, you see, most of our elders, because of their educational level, it was only a taboo that people always hear about CNS Church. So late Femi Ale, and of course with the present Baba Aladura, Dave Salako, they knew John Shagaya. And John Shagaya would say, you people, you said you are KNS. Which section of Cherubim and Seraphim are you? Now the man said, we belong to the United Council of Cherubim and Seraphim Church then. The man now advised, if you want your voice to be heard, what you need to do is to go and constitute another committee or another group so that we will be a group that people will know about. That's what brought about the establishment of CNS Unification, which we are talking about today. It was at the instance of Femi Ale and a host of other people then. And of course, Femi Ale was more or less the financier of that group then, because majority of us, we are young school leavers, but we go along with them in whatever they are doing. He will never discriminate. Even when we need to spend as much as 5 million, Femi Ale may donate 3 or 4 million. We say whatever anybody has, just make sure you contribute.
ọ̀rọ̀ nípa bàbá Allen tí mo bá ní wọ́n á sọ ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn kẹnu èyí tí túmọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ wípé ó pọ̀ àmọ́ bàbá alákòóso àná lẹ́nìkan nínú wa nínú ìjọ ìtẹ́lẹ̀ bọ̀tò ń pàpà dídé olóògbé àwọn ni wọ́n mọ bàbá alákòóso àná nígbà tí bàbá Allen wá fẹ́ gba district láyé ìgbà yẹn parish gbọ́dọ̀ tó mẹ́ta kí wọ́n tó release district fún anybody láti inú conference. Ẹni tó mọ bàbá alákòóso àná yẹn wọ́n ṣe ìrànlọ́wọ́ kan fún wọn pẹ̀lú ìrànlọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Wọ́n wá ṣe àlàyé fún wọn pé àwa náà fẹ́ gba parish. Wọ́n wá ní ká wá sí Ìbàdàn. But lílọ tí àwa lọ sí Ìbàdàn, a lọ sí Ìbàdàn wípé kí Ọlọ́run kó tètè ṣe ilé àdúrà yìí, torí ńgbà yẹn ìjọ kẹjọkẹjọ la máa ń lọ ṣe ìsìn létí òkun. Ẹni tí mo sọ pé wọ́n mọ̀ yẹn ó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní nitel, òun ló máa ń fi mọ́tò kó wa lọ sí etí òkun. But nígbà tó yá tí bàbá yẹn ní ká wá ní Ìbàdàn, a lọ sọ́hùn. Nígbà yẹn mo wà ní GMSA, bàbá lẹ́ni wà ní MSA tó senior GMSA. Nígbà tá a débẹ̀, olúkúlùkù júwe ara ẹ̀, ìrùkọ aṣọ orúkọ, aṣọ bìtà àti wá, aṣọ chọ́ọ̀chì wa, aṣọ oyè wa. Bàbá alákòóso àná wa sọ pé ókè tó bá rí bẹ́ẹ̀ lónìí ni màá fi ọ́ jẹ MSA. Lèmi bá bú sẹ́kún wípé kò í tọrọ oyè wá síbi àní níbi tá a ti máa sin lọ́run. Àwọn àgbà tí wọ́n jókòó ti bàbá alákòóso àná ńgbà yẹn, wọ́n wá ní kí bàbá ní sùúrù. Ẹ dẹ́ ká bi ọkùnrin yìí kí ló dé tó ń pa lẹ́kún. So wọ́n wá bí mi, wọ́n wá ṣàlàyé pé nígbà tó jẹ́ pé ẹni tẹ́ mú mi lọ sí abẹ́ MSA ni, ẹ̀ẹ́dùn wá fi èmi jẹ́ MSA, pé kò bójúmu. Nǹkan mẹ́ta ló máa ń gùn yẹn: ipò máa ń gùn yẹn, owó máa ń gùn yẹn, téèyàn bá mọ ènìyàn ó máa ń gùn yẹn. Pé mi ì fẹ́ oyè yẹn, bá a ṣe kọ́lé àdúrà ló gbé wa débi báyìí.
Well, let me say that I came to the church in Ebenezer Parish in June 1989. And in that month, I got enrolled in a band, King David Band. A month later, that band held its first anniversary. I could recall the date vividly. It was on the 6th of July 1989. So we tagged that anniversary. We gave it a mantra: 6789 KB. 6th of July 89, King David Band. And it was the first band at Ebenezer Model Parish that will hold an anniversary. Baba, as religious as he was, as passionate about the church as he was, he created avenues to create humor for those who are very close to him. He was very humorous. Baba would say during harvest anniversary celebrations that, my beloved, lẹ́yìn ìkórè, we have a kome. That is, after harvest, you must relax and unwind and make yourselves comfortable. Apart from that, sometimes Baba will say, màálù la fi bọ òkè Ìbàdàn gbọ́, ṣẹ́nu aláàrù la ó ti gbọ́. Wípé màálù la fẹ́ fi bọ òkè Ìbàdàn. Is it the man carrying load at Oyingbo that will be announcing it, or those who will fund the proceedings? At his relaxed moments, Baba will shake his head and we say, with benefit of hindsight, he will say, owó làbí làjú wò mí, ẹni tó bá wá wàhálà tí ò rí kó lọ dájọ́ sílẹ̀, yóò rí wèrè, yóò rà síwín. And when asked that, Baba,
Should people not plant churches together? I'm not saying that. Ṣùgbọ́n tó bá wá wàhálà tí ó rí kò lọ dájọ́ sílẹ̀.
Well, I have to introduce myself in 2 ways. While I was with Baba Femi Allen, my name then, I was a special apostle Olufemi Abayomi, a chartered accountant for many years. Then I was a senior lecturer at Federal Poly Ilaro in accounting. I joined through my wife. We joined Ebenezer CNS Church in around July 22nd, 1989. There and then, we didn't know Baba then until we got to the church. Nobody brought us to the church. I was trying to, I was highly spiritual. So I was seeking a church where I would develop spiritually. So there and then, we met Baba then in the church. And with another friend of mine, that we, by providence, special apostle, now Babaladra, Akumulabi, we met there, we got Baba. Baba received us with joy. Baba was very, very nice because it was like we're looking for where we want to use our talents, use our gifts. For me, as young, I was highly spiritual. I had gift of prophecy, the Holy Spirit at a very young age. So when we go there, Baba allowed us to be ourselves. Baba gave us mentoring in a different way others give. He was not telling us what to do because we were already matured. We were okay financially. So we got together with a few of us, about 3, 4, 5 people got together and began to provide using our gifts. Because Baba wanted us to use our gifts. It was not hindering us. It was not other pastors will monitor us. Baba did not monitor us. We were ourselves and we were doing things our way with the leading of the Holy Spirit.
Dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run alààyè, ọba tó jẹ́ kí n rí ọjọ́ ìní láyọ̀ àti àlàáfíà. Ibi tí mo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìjọ bàbá mi Fẹ́mi Allen, tí bàbá gbà mí tọwọ́ tẹsẹ̀. Àjọ̀dún ọdún kìíní ni wọ́n kọ́kọ́ ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ nígbà tí mo débẹ̀. So ó táwa méjì. Ẹ̀kan nínú wa tó jọ́rẹ̀ mi tímọ́tímọ́, ó ní ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ga o lóhun o lérò pé wọ́n lè mọ̀ ọ́n o. Ó lóhun mọ̀ pé èmi á tẹ̀síwájú bó dẹ̀ ti sọ̀rọ̀ náà lórí. Ó lọ́jọ́ ìrìn ẹgbẹ́kẹ́gbẹ́. Àmọ́ àwa dúró torí bàbá Allen kó mi mọ́ra. Ó ń pè mí nígbà gbogbo. Tí ò bá rí mi, á pè mí. So ìdùnnú ló jẹ́ fún mi láti faramọ́ bàbá. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọwọ́ tí bàbá fi mú ẹ̀mí personally. Ó ní wípé tó mú jẹ́ kí n ní interest sí bàbá gan-an. Kó mọ bàbá mi, kó mọ ìyá mi. Ṣùgbọ́n ó mú mi lọ sí ìlú wọn ní Badagry. Mo mọ ìyá wọn, mo mọ àwọn àbúrò wọn títí kan alàgbà now district chairman. So nígbà tí mo ní accident, bàbá gbọ́ wípé Ọlọ́run tó bá ní accident, ó sáré ó láti ṣubú lórí step because of me. Ìyẹn jẹ́ àkọ́kọ́. Nígbà tí wọ́n tọ́jú mi tó ń wá sí hospital wá wò mí, ó ní kán gbé mi wá. So ìgbé mi wá tó ní kán gbé mi wá sí hospital mìíràn ní Àlímọ̀ṣọ́. So ibẹ̀ yẹn ni mo ti rí ìwòsàn. Kí ló fà á? Ìyẹn ni pé bàbá ti ń discuss ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn dókítà wọ́n ti ń prepare pé wọ́n máa gbé mi lọ sílùú òyìnbó. Etí mi ṣe fèrè mo gbọ́ mo ní bàbá alẹ́ pé wọ́n fẹ́ gbé mi lọ sílùú òyìnbó tí n bá wá tìlú òyìnbó náà dé báwo ni mo ṣe fẹ́ sanwó bàbá mi ò lówó ìyá mi ò lówó so ibi tí ọlọ́run gbé mi dé lénìí mo ń fi ọpẹ́ fún ọlọ́run. Ǹjẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ mọ̀ wípé gbólóhùn kan pé bàbá alẹ́ fẹ́ gbé mi lọ ìlú òyìnbó yẹn pé níbo ni mo ti máa rówó san kí ìran mi má wàá máa san gbèsè tí mi ò jẹ so mo ṣe ojú ẹsẹ̀ ni mo fò dìde bàbá ní láti máa bá wọn báwo ni wọ́n ṣe jẹ́ kí n gbọ́ báwo ni wọ́n ṣe jẹ́ kí n gbọ́ so irú eléyìí ó mú mi mẹ́tọ̀ mi ni bàbá alẹ́ ní jẹ́ mẹ́tọ̀ tí kò ṣe gbàgbé fẹ́mi o mi mọ́ tẹlòmíràn o ṣùgbọ́n fún tèmi ọlọ́run tọ́ba láéláé mi ò lè gbàgbé ẹ̀.
ní ìgbà kan bàbá kò gbèrègbè ní ìsọlọ̀ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì wọ́n pe bàbá lẹ́yìn fún oníwàásùn lè a bá lọ sínú ìjọ yẹn nígbà tá a débẹ̀ àbá bàbá kò gbèrègbè ní ọ̀tà bàbá wa béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó wà ní ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì pé bàbá ń kọ́ wọ́n ní bàbá wà nílé ṣé kò sí wọ́n ní kò sí ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni lajọ ọdún bàbá ò sí bí wọ́n ní bàbá wà nílé ok náà wá bọ́ sẹ́yìn kùlé náà ṣẹ́jú sí mi iná ọgbà tẹ̀yìn lọ́hùn mo jáde sí wọn a lọ sọ́dọ̀ bàbá kò gbèrègbè nígbà tá a máa wọnú ilé àwọn tá a bá lẹ́nu ọ̀nà bàbá ní pásẹ̀jì wọn tán bá pé 100 wọn ò lè dín nínú kan jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ni tó fẹ́ rí bàbá ní ọjọ́ yẹn àṣà wọlé àrí bàbá ṣàlàáfíà ní alẹ́ ni kí ló dé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ àwọn ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì ló pe àwa fún àjọ̀dún oníwàásùn ní àjà bàbá dẹ̀ fi envelope invitation bàbá kò gbèrègbè náà àwọn ọmọ kankan mọ kankan ó ní gbogbo àwọn tó wà lẹ́nu ọ̀nà yẹn àwọn tó tà ìjọ ṣàjọ̀dún nìyẹn pé mélòó fẹ́ dá lóòótọ́ lẹ́nìí so wọ́n yẹ gbàdúrà fún bàbá alẹ́ wọ́n gbàdúrà fún ọmọ ogun náà a yin Ọlọ́run so ńgbà tí a ṣe wàásù tán tá a kúrò ń bẹ̀ a wá yà sí ibì kan ní Aláké side ó wọnú tá a bá ti ń bọ̀ láti sọ̀rọ̀ ayà sọ̀wọ́ tún báyìí ó wọnú gan tẹ̀mí ìmúrúkọ street yẹn mọ́ àwọn náà wọ́n ṣe 19 years ọdún kọkàndínlógún ni wọ́n ṣe wọ́n wá pe bàbá lórí wàásù ẹjọ́ má bínú òtútù ni ọ ẹjọ́ wọ́n wá pe bàbá ní oníwàásù so ńgbà tá a máa débẹ̀ a rí pé church yẹn kò kọjá window level kódà ògiri church yẹn ó ti ń yọ green ó ti yọ mọ́kọ̀ bàbá ní méjọ ọdún 19 years ní church ti rí báyìí ṣé kò sẹ́ni tó ṣé ọkọ àtẹ̀wọ́ nìkan ló ṣe sáfìsì bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo ń dẹ́sí mo ní mi ò mọ̀ wọ́n ní òótọ́ ni o lè sọ lóòótọ́ torí òkè wá síbí àtúrẹ́rì làbá wọnú church bí bàbá ṣe wà bàbá ọ̀nà ẹ̀mí ìkórira ẹní ni wọ́n tẹ́ sí ọ̀tà kì í ṣe carpet ẹní ni wọ́n tẹ́ bàbá débẹ̀ lórí ẹní yẹn bàbá tún dọ̀bálẹ̀ ló gbàdúrà lọ bó sórí àgàtọ́ fún wọn lọ́ fi jókòó ìgbà tó kọ ìwàásùn tọkùnrin ìwà tó ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀ bàbá ní ẹ̀yin ìjọ Ọlọ́run mo fẹ́ kẹ́ mú báírò àti gègé yín báírò àti pépà yín wọ́n rò pé bàbá fẹ́ máa ka sí ẹsẹ̀ báíbù ni wọ́n ní ká pé èèyàn 10 ló wà ní ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì yìí tó bá dá 10 naira èèlò ló jẹ́ wọ́n sọ ní ọ̀sẹ̀ 4 èèlò ló jẹ́ tó jóṣù kan sọ ní 52 weeks tó wà ní ọdún kan èèlò ló jẹ́ wọ́n sọ for ẹwà tàṣẹ by 19 èèlò wọ́n ní ẹ̀yin àgbààgbà kí ló dé tìjọ Ọlọ́run rí báyìí ọdún mọ́kàndínlógún àbọ̀dún kan lẹ́nu ìṣọ́ náírà tí ọdún mọ́kàndínlógún tìjọ Ọlọ́run rí báyìí bàbá sọ ní ọjọ́ yẹn pé ọ̀rọ̀ sọ pé ta ló ṣe fún mi tèmi ò ṣe fún ẹ̀yin ṣe fún Ọlọ́run á ṣe fún yín kò yẹ kí Ọlọ́run rí báyìí bàbá akọ ní gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà bí pápátá àwọn bẹ̀rẹ̀ lórúkọ Ọlọ́run alààyè pé kẹjọ tó bá di ọjọ́ 15 a fẹ́ ṣí ilé Ọlọ́run yìí ní ọjọ́ 15 èní a fẹ́ ṣí ilé Ọlọ́run yìí ìjẹ́ní sí fún Ọlọ́run bàbá àti fún ọmọ àti fún ẹ̀mọ́ Jésù lọ bàbá dẹ̀ sọ̀kalẹ̀ bàbá wa lọ bá wọn ní ọ̀tà pé ṣe ní bricklayer mi báyìí ẹ̀rẹ̀ ní carpenter wọn ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ní òkè ẹ sọ fún bricklayer yín pé iṣẹ́ fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ bí lọ́la nígbà tó máa di ọjọ́ kejì bí wọ́n ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí kó blọ́ọ̀kù lọ sí ibẹ̀ yẹn nìyẹn so wọ́n kó blọ́ọ̀kù lọ sí ibẹ̀ yẹn so nígbà tó bá di Thursday ọ̀sẹ̀ yẹn a láti lọ wo chọ́ọ̀chì yẹn a rí wípé wọ́n ti kan chọ́ọ̀chì yẹn so ọ̀sẹ̀ tó tẹ̀lé náà bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe plastering ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì yẹn tọ́dẹ̀ faná sí. So ògbà tó wá di ọjọ́ Sunday tó pé ọjọ́ 15 a lọ síbi wàásù kan, ìgbà tá à ń padà bọ̀ àyàbẹ̀ ojú ọ̀nà ní gbogbo wọn ti ń ké òsánà náà ti ń ké hallelujah, a sì dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run, bàbá ṣe àṣeyọrí. Àìmọye church tí ó súnmọ́ bàbá tó olùdásílẹ̀ wọn súnmọ́ bàbá bí iṣan ọrùn tó jẹ́ pé ní inú pákó ni wọ́n wà nígbà tí wọ́n wó ibi tó jẹ́ mí church wọn táwọn ọmọ onílẹ̀ wo tí bàbá ní ilé Ọlọ́run láfẹ́ bí ìkọ́ tó di ọjọ́ kejì ọjọ́ Monday bí wàá ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní kọ́ máa kó búlọ̀kù lọ́bẹ̀ yẹn tó kọ́ church yẹn lénìí tí mo mọ̀ ń pa ẹ̀ tán kọ́ tán tí bàbá tó kọ́ church yẹn the same thing mọ́ṣáláṣí pè wọ́n mọ́ṣáláṣí kan pè wọ́n ní yànnà pájà bàbá ní àwọn fẹ́ jẹ ìmáàmù mọ́ṣáláṣí lọ́rẹ́rìn bàbá fún wọn ní nǹkan tó ní agbára. Àwọn ẹlẹ́sìn wa àkọ́kọ́ náà tó bá ní nǹkan ṣe wọ́n á fún bàbá ní èwo ti rí tó ọ ní àìbọ́dọ̀ dá sí wa ni o kí ló dẹ̀ fa ni wípé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn tó wà nínú ẹlẹ́sìn ìkejì àti ìkẹta yìí àwọn náà tó wà nínú ẹlẹ́sìn kìrìsìtẹ́nì àti mùsùlùmí àwọn náà ló wà nínú ẹlẹ́sìn àbáláyé wọ́n mọ ipa tí bàbá ń kó lórí kìrìsìtẹ́nì àti ti mùsùlùmí làwọn náà ṣe wá bá bàbá dẹ̀ fún ọ nìkan tó ní fún ọmọ ní dáàdì ní méjọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni abọ́dọ̀ fún ti késàrì fún késàrì ká lè rújú ráyè fi ti Ọlọ́run fún Ọlọ́run. Ẹ tó wá bàbá rí tó bá kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ a jẹ́ pé ó kù sọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ ni.
Nínú gbogbo ewu ọ̀run Olúwa ló ń ṣọ́ wa, àwa sì tún rí mọ́lẹ̀ yìí àtúntẹ̀ ẹ̀kún bá. Olúwa pa wá mọ́ lónìí, fi ìṣọ́ rẹ̀ ṣọ́ wa. Kìkì àwọn tí wọ́n pa mọ́ ló yọ nínú ewu.
If I knew I was going to die, I would have traveled. I remember we celebrated his 60th birthday and he was sort of recuperating, you know. So I thought it was safe enough for me to travel. And he died, 10 days after his birthday. I was abroad when he died. I remember that, you know. So it wasn't a long illness or anything.
I know at a point in time, he took ill. And some members of the church, or the church, but particularly those of the prayer warrior, took it very seriously, prayed, and God answered our prayers. He got up. That was in the year 1995. And he came to the church. But something happened on that Sunday, which was his last Sunday at Ebenezer Model Parish. He effected a thorough reconciliation amongst the feuding elders at the church. He called them, the prophets, some others, and said they must be one. After that reconciliation, he prayed for us on the altar in the chancel. And Baba did something. With benefit of hindsight, I later realized the meaning. It was as if he knew that his time was up. He went to the altar table, removed his cross that was always there, removed his Bible. Nobody took any special notice of that.
Good people die young. It's not as if people that live old are evil, but I think God needs them more than we do, you know. So I still miss my father up till today. I think about him regularly. And anytime I think about him, his thoughts bring a smile to me. My father was an extremely kind person in the community, in the church, in his office. Anybody that would tell you, if I should take anything after him, I would want it to be his kindness. He was giving, he was generous. And I'm not talking from a place of bias because he's my father. My father was an extremely kind and generous to a fault, to people he knew and people that he did not know. You know, I remember on Sundays where my father would sit down and People will queue, even after service, even people from outside, people from the community. And that was the same thing in his office. Anytime I came to his office, there were people in the reception, and I go like, because obviously I can walk in, and I will let half of them, and that's the truth, he didn't know them. It will be people that will tell him that it's either paying school fees or, so he impacted, he touched a lot of lives, you know, for good. I miss everything about my father. I miss everything about my father. And that is why I make a conscious being in church, you know, apart from, you know, wanting his legacy to continue, but my part of being in this church is to feel closer to him. You know, he was buried here. So I come here, I have an apartment here. And I come here for the weekend sometimes. It's just because I feel I'm near him, I'm close to him, I can feel his presence. And if anything at all, 30 years after, he must have done something right for his church to still be standing. People have gone, people come. But his legacy is still there, and it will be there forever. Like the late Jpil, I just realized when he says, oh, Nikulailai, I never used to understand about Nikulailai now. People will die. You know, but Nikulailai means that your legacy will not die. So it resonates so for me, my father will be alive. His life, do you understand? So I miss everything about him, and especially when I had kids, you know, that he wasn't there. So his legacy lives on. So I'm thankful for that.
To live in the heart of those we love is to not die at all. Yeah, Baba must have been a really amazing man.
He lived for humanity.
Yeah, he did live for humanity. He did.
I had a personal testimony.
Oh.
The way he touched my life as well.
Beautiful.
Many years ago, when I wasn't going to church, I had this mischievous belief that God rests on the Sabbath day. So I too should rest on Sunday. I shouldn't disturb him with my prayers.
Right.
I could pray to him at other times and he heard. I had cause to meet him in church for prayers. He gave me some messages, and after a while, he advised that I should start going to church. At that stage, he introduced this place, and the last thing I wanted was a church, not talk of a CNS church to start with. Yeah. So I kept posting him. Each time I met him, I had cause to come to visit my mom from blocks away every Sunday, and I met him on each occasion. Initially, I would stop, he too would stop, he would greet me, say some prayers. The next thing is, when are you joining us in church? That will infuriate me more, so I kept ignoring him. Funny enough, each time I passed by him and looked elsewhere, he would use that, press his horn, you know the way motorists see themselves. Pa, pa, indicating that I saw you and I'm greeting you. Of course, the message is always, when are you coming to church?
Yeah.
So after a while, a lot of things he told me came to pass, and I ended up in the church.
Beautiful.
I spent almost 2 years with him before he went to be with the saints. Today, I'm a past Secretary General of the Sacred CNS General Conference, a conference that has over 450 parishes worldwide.
Beautiful.
And I'm also an acting rector of the School of Theology at Agege. All this wouldn't have taken place in my life if I had not met such a great man of God.
Yeah.
He touched lives. Isaiah 57 verse 1 says the righteous man is taken, no one lays it to heart. The merciful man is perishes, and no one remembers that the righteous is taken away before the evil day. Allen lived to be 60, and his life was worth humanity.
Yes, it was.
What lesson do you learn from his life?
Above all, I think one thing I learned is that he was a man for the people. He was a father to all, and in everything that he did, he made sure that he touched people's lives and impacted them positively. So yeah.
So the lesson here is,
whatever you're doing, wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, make sure to touch people's lives positively. Thank you very much.
ayé má ṣe ṣí ọ sọ̀rọ̀ mi o bàbá mo máa bẹ̀ ọ́ o. ayé má ṣe ṣí ọ sọ̀rọ̀ mi o ọba ńlá. ayé má ṣe ṣí ọ sọ̀rọ̀ mi o Èdùmàrè èmi máa ń bẹ̀ ọ́ o. ayé má ṣe ṣí ọ sọ̀rọ̀ mi o ọba ńlá. ayé má ṣe ṣí ọ sọ̀rọ̀ mi o bàbá ò máa ń bẹ̀ ọ́ sẹ́. ayé má ṣe ṣí ọ sọ̀rọ̀ mi o ọba ńlá. ayé má ṣe ṣí ọ sọ̀rọ̀ mi o